You know what's under your feet right now? Right beneath the streets you walk on every day? Miles of tunnels, pipes, passages. Most cities have maps, blueprints, records of where everything goes, but not every city, not every town. Some places, the tunnels go deeper than the maps show, older than the records claim, and some of those unmapped passages, they were never meant to carry waste. They were meant to hide something, to keep something contained, to make sure it never reached the surface. My name's Nathan, and I was a municipal maintenance worker in Ashford, Pennsylvania, a small town about 40 miles outside Pittsburgh. Population 8,000. Quiet, boring, safe. I worked there for 3 years maintaining the water and sewer systems. I thought I knew every pipe, every valve, every access point. I was wrong. So incredibly wrong. Because last month, I found the old system, the unmapped tunnels, and what I discovered down there, what's still down there. It's changed everything I thought I knew about my town, about what's possible, about what's been living beneath us all along. It started with a sinkhole, a small one, maybe 6 feet across, opened up on Maple Street near the old part of town, the historic district, buildings from the 1800s, cobblestone streets. That area always had issues, old infrastructure, settling foundations. I got the call around 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Routine job. Check the sinkhole, make sure no sewer lines were compromised, mark it for the road crew to fill. Easy work. I arrived, set up cones, climbed down with my flashlight and inspection camera. The hole was about 8 feet deep, and at the bottom, I saw it, an opening, a passage, leading into darkness. But this wasn't on any map. This wasn't part of our system. I'd reviewed the sewer plans for this area 100 times. There was nothing here. Nothing documented. Nothing that should exist. I called my supervisor, told him what I'd found. He checked the records, checked the old city archives. Nothing. Probably just a collapsed storm drain, he said. Sealed up decades ago. Take some photos. We'll note it in the report. But I was curious. I'm always curious. That's what makes me good at my job. I needed to see where this passage went. Needed to understand what it was. So I grabbed my gear, my flashlight, my radio, my helmet, and I climbed down into that sinkhole, into that opening, into the dark. The passage was tight, maybe 4 feet in diameter. I had to crouch, had to move carefully. The walls were brick, old brick, hand-laid, not modern construction. This was old, really old, older than anything else in Ashford's infrastructure. The town was founded in 1852, but this brickwork, this looked older, colonial-era, maybe earlier. How was that possible? I moved forward. The passage sloped downward, gentle at first, then steeper. I was maybe 20 feet below street level now, then 30, then 50. The passage opened into a larger tunnel, maybe 7 feet tall, wide enough to walk upright. The walls were still brick, arched ceiling, perfect construction. Beautiful, actually. This was craftsmanship. This was built to last, built to serve some purpose. But what? And why wasn't it on any map? I pulled out my radio. Base, this is Nathan. I found something weird down here. An old tunnel system. Really old. Not on any of our maps. I'm going to explore a bit. Document what I find. Static. Then my supervisor's voice. Weak. Distorted. Copy. Nathan. Be careful. Don't go. Far. The signal was breaking up. I was too deep. Too much concrete and earth between me and the surface. I'd check it out for a few minutes, then head back. Report what I'd found, let the city decide what to do with it. The tunnel branched. Left or right? I chose left. Marked the wall with spray paint, a big arrow pointing back toward the entrance. Standard procedure. Don't get lost. Always mark your route. I walked slowly, my flashlight beam cutting through absolute darkness. The air was cold, damp, but it didn't smell like sewage, didn't smell like waste. It smelled old, musty, like a tomb, like something sealed for a very long time. I passed other passages, other branches, all perfectly constructed, all unmarked, all leading deeper. This wasn't just one tunnel. This was a system, a network, miles of it, spread out beneath the town like a web, like roots. How had no one known about this? I found the first chamber about 10 minutes in. A large room, maybe 30 feet across, circular, with a domed ceiling. In the center, a well, going down into darkness. I approached carefully, shined my light into it. The well went deep, so deep my light couldn't find the bottom. Just black. And I could hear water, distant, echoing up from below. Moving water, running water. But this wasn't part of our storm drainage. This wasn't connected to anything I knew. Where was this water going? Where was it coming from? I noticed something else. The walls of the chamber. They had markings, carved into the brick, symbols, not modern graffiti, not vandalism. These were old, deliberate, repeating patterns, geometric shapes, almost ritualistic. I took photos, documented everything. This was incredible. This was a historical find. The city would need to send archaeologists down here, historians. This could be significant. I heard something then. A sound, coming from deeper in the tunnels. A scraping sound, like something dragging across stone. I froze, listened carefully. The sound continued, slow, rhythmic, getting closer. "Hello?" I called. My voice echoed, bounced through the tunnels, came back distorted. The scraping stopped. Silence. Then, footsteps, running footsteps. Multiple sets, coming from different directions, all around me, all converging. I grabbed my radio. Base, there's someone down here, multiple people, I need backup." Nothing but static. The signal was dead. I was alone, completely cut off. The footsteps got louder, closer. I couldn't tell which direction they were coming from. The echoes made it impossible. The acoustics down here were wrong, sound bouncing in ways that didn't make sense. I ran, back the way I'd come, following my spray paint markers. But the tunnel looked different, longer, and my markers, they were fading, like someone had scrubbed at them, tried to erase them. But that was impossible. I'd just painted them minutes ago. I kept running, took a turn, another turn, looking for the passage that led back to the surface, back to the sinkhole. But I couldn't find it. Every tunnel looked the same, every intersection identical. I was lost. How was I lost? I'd only gone a few hundred yards. I'd marked my route. This should be easy. But nothing looked familiar. Nothing looked right. I stopped, tried to calm down, tried to think logically. I pulled out my phone. No signal, obviously, but I had a compass app. I checked my direction. The needle was spinning, slowly, continuously, never settling, just like that lighthouse, just like other places where the rules break down. I was in one of those places now, one of those impossible spaces, where direction doesn't matter, where maps don't work, where you can walk forever and never find the exit. I heard voices, whispers, coming from the walls, from the tunnels ahead, behind, all around. They were saying something, chanting something, words I didn't recognize, words that sounded old, ancient, not English, not any language I knew. And there was light ahead, faint, flickering, like candles, like torches. I moved toward it. What choice did I have? I needed to find someone, anyone, someone who could show me the way out, someone who knew these tunnels. The light was coming from another chamber, larger than the first, and inside, I saw them, figures, dozens of them, wearing cloaks, robes, dark fabric, faces hidden, They were standing in a circle around another well. This one had something in it. Something glowing, pulsing. The same sickly blue-green light I'd seen before. In other stories. In other impossible places. That color that shouldn't exist. That light that means you've gone somewhere you shouldn't be. The figures were chanting. That same language. Those same words. And they were throwing things into the well. Objects I couldn't identify. The light pulsed brighter with each offering. With each chant. One of the figures turned, looked at me. The hood fell back, and I saw nothing. No face. Just shadow. Empty space where a face should be. But it was looking at me. I could feel it. Could feel its awareness. Its attention. All the figures turned. All at once. All looking. All seeing. And then they started walking toward me. Slowly. Deliberately. Spreading out. Blocking every exit. Every passage. Trapping me. I ran. Again. Chose a tunnel at random. Sprinted into darkness. I could hear them behind me. Following. Not running. Just walking. But always the same distance away. Like they knew these tunnels. Like they could follow me forever. Like there was nowhere I could go that they couldn't reach. I ran until my lungs burned. Until my legs screamed. Until I couldn't take another step. And then I saw it. A shaft. Going up. Metal rungs set into the wall. A ladder. Leading to, I didn't know. But up. Toward the surface. Toward escape. I climbed. Hand over hand. Rung after rung. Going up and up and up. I should have reached the street level. Should have found a manhole cover. But I kept climbing. 50 feet, 100 feet, 200. This was impossible. Ashford doesn't have buildings this tall. I couldn't be going up this far. But I was. The ladder kept going. The shaft kept rising. And below me, I could hear them. Climbing. Following. Never giving up. Finally. I reached a grate. I pushed. It gave way. I pulled myself up. Through the opening. And I was in a basement. A building basement. I scrambled out, looked around. I was in the sub-basement of the old courthouse. The building on Main Street. I recognized it. I'd been here before for inspections. But I'd never seen this access point. Never knew there was a connection to whatever that system was below. I found the stairs, climbed up, burst through the door at street level, into the lobby. The security guard looked at me, startled. "You okay, buddy? You look like you've seen a ghost." I was covered in dirt, scraped, bleeding from a dozen small cuts. My clothes torn. I'd been down there for... I checked my watch. 4 hours. 4 hours. It had felt like days. I reported everything. Told my supervisor. Told the city manager. Showed them the photos. They reviewed the records again. Brought in a structural engineer. A city historian. Know what they found? Nothing. According to every map, every survey, every record, those tunnels don't exist. The old courthouse doesn't have a sub-basement. The sinkhole on Maple Street was filled in years ago. And my photos, they showed empty tunnels. No chambers, no wells, no symbols on the walls, no evidence of anything I'd described. Just old brick passages. Empty. Unremarkable. Like every other abandoned drainage tunnel. They said I must have gotten disoriented. Hit my head. Hallucinated. They sent me to a doctor. Ordered a psych evaluation. Put me on leave. Told me to rest. To recover. To forget about it. But I can't forget. Because I know what I saw. I know what's down there. And I know it's still there. Still operating. Still doing whatever it was doing. Those figures. Those robes. Those wells. They've been down there for a long time. Longer than Ashford has existed. Maybe longer than Pennsylvania has been settled. Maybe they were here first. Maybe they built the town above as... what? Camouflage? Cover? A way to hide in plain sight? I don't know. But I know this. The sinkhole that started all of this? It appeared 3 more times. Different locations, different streets, always in the old part of town. Each one filled immediately, marked as unstable ground. No investigation, no inspection. Just filled, sealed. Like someone doesn't want anyone else finding what I found. Like they're closing the entrances, keeping people out, or keeping something in. I can't work for the city anymore. Can't go near those old streets. Can't walk on those cobblestones knowing what's beneath them. Knowing that at any moment, another sinkhole could open, another entrance could appear, and someone else might climb down, might find those tunnels, might encounter those figures, might see what I saw, or worse, might not come back up at all. Because I got out. I escaped. But I don't think everyone does. I think some people go down there and never return. And the town just accepts it. Missing persons reports. Cold cases. People who vanish without a trace. What if they're not missing? What if they're still here? Still in Ashford? Just below. In those tunnels. In those chambers. Serving whatever lives in those wells. Whatever has been down there for centuries. Whatever we built this town on top of without ever knowing it was there. If you're captivated by more unsettling stories from people who've discovered that the ground beneath our feet hides things far older and stranger than we could imagine, make sure to subscribe to Campfire Nightmares. And I have to ask, do you ever wonder what's beneath your town? Have you seen sinkholes that appeared and disappeared too quickly? Or heard stories about tunnels that don't match official records? Let me know in the comments, because I'm starting to think Ashford isn't unique. I think there are other towns, other cities, built on top of systems that were never meant to be found. And I wonder what happens when more of those entrances open, when more people find their way down, when whatever's below decides it's time to come up.